In this video, I'll demonstrate Zero Touch Mesh using the Unleashed browser user interface. Zero Touch allows you to create a mesh link with member APs over the air without first connecting it to the LAN. This makes it easier and simpler to employ mesh by reducing the burden of connecting over Ethernet first. Eliminating the Ethernet connection is more real-world and far simpler to get the network operational quickly. So if I go to my Access menu, and I click on that, you'll see that I have two access points located here. I have an R600 and an R500. I'm going to be adding an R600 as a mesh AP and have it connect using Zero Touch. So if I go to the Admin and Services menu, under System and under Mesh, you'll see that my mesh settings. So mesh capability allows you to deploy your access points without using wires. Warning, upon enabling mesh, all mesh-capable devices will reboot immediately. So I'm going to tick Enable Mesh, and I'm going to also tick Zero Touch Mesh. And it says if enabled, a factory default AP running a Zero Touch Mesh-capable image can join the Unleashed network via a wireless mesh link without Ethernet connection. Now, you have the option of pre-approving a Zero Touch Mesh. So I'm going to add in the serial number of the R600 that I'm going to add. So I'm going to add in the serial number. And by doing this, I won't have to approve it once it joins. So I'm going to click OK. So now I've got my serial number located here. And what I'm going to do now is to plug in my mesh access point. So now I've connected my AP and it's starting to boot up. This is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes for this process to happen. So I'm going to go back to my access points and I'll just observe as things happen. So the AP is now starting to boot up and you'll see that the air LED is starting to blink and that signifies mesh is enabled on it. And now we see that the mesh AP is now shown up, but it's still disconnected because it hasn't gone through the whole provisioning process yet. And now the disconnection has gone away. And now we can see that the R600 has now joined. And the LEDs on the AP are now mesh enabled with the Air AP. And I've got my two LEDs for 5G and 2G. So we should now be ready to connect a client to it. As you can see on the AP, the 2.4G has now gone green. So we now have connectivity. So the AP has now come up and is operational, and you can see that we have one client connected to it. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to re-edit it. I'm going to give it a name of R600 Foundry, and then I'll save that. So now we have three APs. We have our master AP, we have the new AP that was just joined by Zero Touch Mesh, and we have the R500, which is mesh also. So if I do a system overview of this, it shows me that it is mesh. It gives me the firmware version. It shows that the interface Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1 are down, which we would expect because it's not connected to the LAN. And if I roll over this LAN port status, it just shows me the layout of the two Ethernet ports on the AP. If I go under my clients, we can now see that the S5 Galaxy is connected to the R600 Foundry, and it gives me the status and the authorization method. So if I now close my client tab, and if I go to my access points, and if I click on Show Mesh Topology, this will show the mesh topology that I have. So we have one master AP, and we have two mesh over here on the left, and this shows how mesh is enabled. So we got the master AP here, and here are the two mesh APs. So we have now successfully onboarded a Zero Touch Mesh AP without connecting it to the local area network. And that's just how easy it is to do Zero Touch Mesh.